The bridge of the royal barge Cle-Van, normally a bustling hub of activity and the brain and heart of the ancient and regal vessel, was deathly silent. And for good reason. The Emperor himself stood at the podium of command, and he was not in a good mood. Nope, not in a good mood at all. "Emperor," a miserable Lorsk said to the back of his carapace, glittering with gold filigree and gemstones. He looked like a giant Fabergé egg with huge ivory-white mandibles resembling elephant tusks, also heavily encrusted with gold and gems. "Why wear a crown when you can be one?" The Emperor said nothing. He just scuttled on his 4 massive and gold-encrusted legs to fully turn his back on the miserable being behind him, embellished in silver and polished titanium. "Emperor!" Silence. "Father, please." The Emperor heaved his rhinoceros-sized bulk in the equivalent of a sigh. He couldn't bear to look at his firstborn, the crown prince of the Lorsk Empire, and a complete idiot. He couldn't even look at his son without being overwhelmed by anger, grief, and guilt. "Do you have any idea what you have done?" he finally said, his back still turned. "I still stand by my actions," his son exclaimed, his mandibles twitching in righteous anger. "Your actions? Your actions?" the Emperor shouted, finally scuttling around to face his son, enraged. "Your actions were those of an entitled fool." "Father," the Crown Prince exclaimed, "there are commoners. Is that what we would call these noble servants of the Empire?" He heaved a sigh once more. "We do like to maintain an air of perfection to our subjects," the Emperor said, "but you have ruined that already. I merely give voice to what everyone present is thinking, and what they are thinking is that you are a moron." "It was an attack on our sovereignty," the Crown Prince screeched in reply. "We had to—" "An attack on our sovereignty should be dealt with by the sovereign," the Emperor screeched angrily in reply. "Are you the sovereign?" The Crown Prince closed his mandibles and looked downward. "And you never will be. Father, you are unfit to rule, to guide, to protect, to bear the burden imposed by the will of the divine. No, you are the Crown Prince no longer. That falls to your sister now. You can't. I am the— You are the greatest fool in 100 generations." The Emperor, his father, screeched with a snap of his mandibles, marring the delicate filigree. "You are wrong," the Crown Prince shouted, causing everyone to gasp in shock. "Am I?" the Emperor replied with a sneering flex of his mandibles. "Tell me, O great sage, O blessed prophet, are you aware of the dominion of 1,000 suns?" "Yes." "What are they called now?" "The Ka system, and the undying queen of the Blood Nebula." "Dead," the prince replied quietly. "And the dread pirates of the unending void? In jail. And last, but certainly not least, the mad gods of the void." "On medication," his son said miserably. "And oh, great admiral, exactly how were those medications applied?" "Emperor? Into which orifice were they inserted?" That's right. You just picked a fight with the only species in the galaxy to develop an FTL suppository. But they dared to lay claim to our territory. What was I supposed to— You were supposed to contact me. Instead, you have started a war over a little turd of a dead system that we aren't ever going to use. Did you even bother to determine if they knew they violated our space? How did they not know? It was a deliberate— Are you so dim that you think there is some magic registry where every single void-damned species has their territory neatly recorded, and that record is considered sacred and inviolate? The Emperor raged. It is entirely possible they didn't know, and they now believe that we attacked civilians without warning and unprovoked. Thank the now quite reasonable and well-adjusted gods of the void that they had not completed the colony, that there were none of their brood present. They were not civilians, Father. There was one light system patrol craft for anti-piracy and search and rescue. It was part of their solar guard, not their navy. But they engaged us when you attacked them, the Emperor snapped, further damaging his embellishments. Of course they did, and how many of our ships did they destroy? They did not destroy a single. How many ships will never sail through the endless night ever again? 4. And was it destroyed in turn? And how many ships did their mining and utility vessels remove from service? 6, but regardless of what the humans claim, those were not civilian ships. They were armed with mining charges, you fool. They used those to crack apart asteroids and then catch the fragments to feed to their rock-eating smelting vessels. You do remember that vessel, don't you? The Crown Prince said nothing. He definitely remembered that beast. It ate a quarter of his flagship before he could get away. The hatch to the bridge opened, and a smartly embellished Lorsk entered. "Excuse me, Emperor," she said. "The test you ordered has been completed." And, "Emperor? Out with it." "Yes, Emperor, Crown Prince Cle-Van is indeed your progeny." "Drat. Father, you dare to doubt my mother's." With a wicked snap, the Emperor's mandibles snapped open as he heaved his massive bulk, sending his son and no small amount of gold and jewels flying across the bridge. "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth," the Emperor roared. "How dare you insult the Empress's honor? I would kill you where you stand if it were not for—" The Emperor fell silent. "Then why did you order a paternity test?" the prince demanded as he, shell-cracked and bleeding, picked himself off the deck. "To see if some traitor had not stolen my true heir and replaced it with their idiotic spawn," the Emperor snapped, gold hanging from his mandibles in ragged pieces and gemstones falling to the deck. "But no, you are of the royal line. Mellow gods take us all. Switched? That happened 12,000 years ago," the Emperor shouted. "Had you actually paid attention to those tutors I assigned, you would know. 12,000 years ago in a 67,000-year civilization, imperiled by your foolishness." "You aren't saying that our great armada will be defeated by the humans. Fearsome as they are, they can't possibly—" "Of course, I'm not saying that, idiot. Should it come to that, we will wage such a war that the galaxy will quake, we will give battle, and we will prevail," the Emperor proclaimed with a confidence he wished he felt. "But it would be ugly, and the humans. They made suppositories the size of battleships. Kind gods of the void only know what they would make for our embellished backsides. Whatever it wasn't going to be good. Those fuckers were nasty. But my former crown prince," the Emperor continued, "win or lose, billions of our subjects, remember them? Those people who have been entrusted into our care? Billions will die, and our empire, win or lose, it will be severely weakened. The humans aren't the only fiends in the void. We become weak, and they will come. The humans won't be the only war we will fight because of your idiocy. After the humans, the Korra, a real enemy, will come once again. After them, the Bursa. Then we will start to see uprisings, likely empowered by Void knows who." The no longer crown prince looked at his father in horror. "And all of it is thanks to you," the Emperor hissed. "However, we will survive, we will endure, just so we can curse your name for eternity." "Emperor," the captain of the vessel snapped with military precision, "we have arrived." "Are they here?" "Yes, Emperor." "What abomination awaits us?" "The Zelensky, Emperor." "How greatly we are honored," the Emperor chuckled. "I wish to see it." "Yes, Emperor," the captain snapped. "Activate the main projector." A hologram of an ancient Ganymede-class battleship appeared. "Look at that magnificent beast," the Emperor exclaimed. "Love them or hate them. Whether they be friend or foe, one has to concede they know how to build them. Imagine being able to get so close." The Emperor cast the captain a sidelong glance from one of his large chitin-covered eyes. "You're scanning it, correct?" "Passive only as per your command. We are getting volumes." "How about the armor? Anything?" That can't be right." He turned to his sensor operator. "Is your equipment working properly?" "Yes, Captain." "Well, don't keep me in suspense, Captain." "The armor, at least the outermost layer, is water." "The royal fuck?" "It is a mix of water ice and some sort of polysaccharide fiber." "Polysaccharides?" "Chains of glucose, mostly, Their armor is made of frozen wood? Yes, Emperor. Humans. The Emperor chuckled. He turned to the Lorsk who delivered the paternity test results. Make the same substance and run some tests on it. Humans are weird as fuck, but their weirdness is usually not without purpose. Usually... Yes, Emperor. Emperor, we are being hailed. Put them through. The Emperor struggled to maintain his composure as the image of the battleship was replaced by a horrific mix of flesh and metal. Half of the creature's face was replaced with metal and plastic, and one eye was clearly artificial, as was at least one appendage. What remained of the being's flesh looked as if it had been torn apart and hastily put together again, which is exactly what happened. I am Emperor Cle-Van of the Lorsk, the Emperor proclaimed. I am President Logan of the Human Union, President Logan replied. First of all, nice ship. You guys elevate Gaudi to transcendent levels. It's the essence of ATGE. ATGE? The Emperor asked, confused. He wasn't sure if the translators got that right. It is one of our acronyms. It means awful taste, great execution. Bold words from someone in a ship made of sawdust. It is magnificent sawdust. But were you out of iron? If so, we can send you some. It isn't expensive. President Logan laughed and then paused. I like you, pity it is under such circumstances. Indeed, the Emperor stated. Firstly, I wish to earnestly apologize for any loss of civilian life. Well, any life. That is inexcusable. I understand you place great value upon your civilians. His son started to speak but thought the better of it. He was stupid but not that stupid. We do. However, these were contractors. They knew the risks. Contractors. Independent businesses or individuals who, in this case, agreed to undertake a difficult task in a hazardous environment. They willingly risked their lives for truly astronomical amounts of money. Ah, a Les Carl, a technical mercenary. Pretty much, President Logan replied. While we are definitely not happy, it isn't the same as attacking an established colony. They were civilians, but in name only. President Logan paused for a moment. And I suppose we need to apologize for not contacting all neighboring civilizations, even ones that were considerably distant. The Human Union views this as an unfortunate incident, not a declaration of war. So, the Emperor said, we're good? Provided our terms are met. The Emperor bobbed up and down in a nod. All human prisoners and any captured equipment and the one mining vessel we disabled will be returned along with appropriate compensation for any damage or loss of life. He sighed a pained sigh. And we will hand over the individual responsible for the attack. Father, no. The price of peace is sometimes costly, my son. I can lose one Lorsk, or I can lose 1 billion. I'm truly sorry. Idiot you may be, you are my idiot, and I do love you. But I love the Lorsk Empire more. Forgive me. As his son wailed as he was dragged away, the Emperor turned to the President. What will happen to him? He will face our justice, the President replied. If his actions were not an official act of the Lorsk, then he's guilty. I mean, he stands accused of piracy and murder. He will be tried and, if convicted, face the same sentence as a human who committed those acts. We haven't had the death penalty for quite some time, so he will be imprisoned, likely for life. He is to receive no special treatment. Honor demands it. He won't, President Logan said firmly. The Emperor looked away as he gathered himself. Is it possible to send him gifts or otherwise aid him? I know in our prisons the families can. The President smiled gently, or he probably did. His face is fucked up. War will do that to you. You can, after a fashion. There is an account that you can deposit funds into. They will be available to him to purchase items approved by our prison system. Can I visit him? Of course. And that's why they call me Your Majesty. A battered and muscular Lorsk laughed as he reclined on the bare concrete floor. So you really are royalty. A tattooed, muscular, and wicked-looking woman in the quilted undergarment that served as the base layer of the protective armor needed outside on the hellish dirtball they were on this year. She pressed a nail gun against the Lorsk's shell and fired another nail into his thick carapace, part of an intricate design with both Lorsk and human characters. When polished with a buffing wheel, it would look quite nice. And it was determined that a lifetime of labor building the exact thing I destroyed would be what you humans call poetic, and what I call you all being assholes once again. The human laughed and drove in another nail. "Sucks to be you," the woman snickered. "It's strange," the former prince said as another nail was driven home. "I am actually happier here than I ever was as a prince." Bullshit. As a prince, I was in many ways more constrained. Honor, duty, impossible standards to meet, a brilliant father and sister against whom I always fell short. Because I'm a moron. You don't have to tell me. Fuck you. The former prince, now called Your Majesty or just Maj among his many friends. What you call prison, I call freedom. You been drinking paint stripper again? The woman asked. I still can't believe it doesn't kill you. I especially enjoy the stuff in the red bottle, Madge said. But think about it. The man don't hassle us down here. No way they are setting one foot on this shit heap until we are done. They just drop off supplies and fuck off. You trustees run the show and you guys aren't that bad as long as I pull my load. Well, except for Donald. He was an asshole. Yeah, the woman said as she pulled out some bronze brazing wire and a hammer. Pity what happened to him. A real shame. Truly tragic, Madge snickered. But you know what they say, snitches get run over by an earth mover. Ha, the woman said, now hold still. Epilogue. Sister, Madge exclaimed, beside himself with joy as he jumped out of the shuttle at an orbital platform, orbiting yet another toxic world. His sister gasped when she saw her brother, or what was supposed to be her brother. What rushed to embrace her was scarcely recognizable. His carapace was deformed, warped by the bulging muscles underneath, crazed with cracks, and decorated with strange, barbaric runes, mostly in some unknown script, assumedly human. The one she could read she wished she couldn't. One of his arms was missing, replaced by a ghoulish undead contrivance of metal and plastic. He looked like something right out of the history books or one of those silly holovids. Except this wasn't makeup. Cle-Van, she asked as the strange and monstrous thing grabbed her. I haven't heard that name in decades, he said. I'm Madge now. He paused. I'm sorry about Dad. Dad? Sorry, Madge said. It means father. I hope his passing was as peaceful as his reign, he said, trying to adopt the way of speaking that had been abandoned long ago. It was, his sister, the Empress, said. He thought of you often and spoke highly of your adventures, though they could scarcely be believed. In fact, I thought that you were embellishing your accomplishments as you once did. She looked at her brother again in pure disbelief. Until now. I treasured each and every missive, Madge said. They mattered more than you can ever know. Oh, I managed to watch your coronation. Little Miss Prissy Pants cut quite the regal figure. Prissy Pants. I'm proud of you, you know, what you have accomplished already. I'm glad you are finally normalizing relations with these humans. They are fuck. They are difficult to say the least, but they are great people once you get to know them. That is partly why I am here, the Empress said. In addition to meeting with President Rodriguez to formalize the treaty, I came to see you. Oh, that is so nice. It's great to see you, sis. I mean, Empress, he said happily. I'll be direct, the Empress said. We are establishing an embassy on Earth, and we need an ambassador, someone familiar with the humans and their I'll stop you right there, sis, Madge said. No, but I will have your sentence commuted. You will be free. No, I won't, Madge said. I take that job and I won't be Madge anymore. I will be Cle-Van the fool, the fallen prince chained to a diplomatic post as far from the palace as is possible. A dishonored exile. No, brother, it's not like that. To you perhaps, but to every other Lorsk? Besides, look at me. Look at what I've become. Can you imagine? This, he said, gesturing to himself. Embellished in silver, I would be a freak, a dishonored, mangled freak. a figure of pity and dishonor. Down there I have hardship, so much hardship. But I have honor, not only an honor but respect, something I never had in the Empire and never will, and I won't give it up for comforts that I don't even remember anymore. He looked down. I hate him, you know. Who? Cle-Van, the idiot prince. I can't fucking stand him. I might be stuck on one hellish posting after another, but down there I'm free. I'm free of him, free from the Empire, free from everything. Besides, it's not that bad down there once you get used to it. I'm a heavy equipment operator now. Here, look. Here's a hollow of my rig. Isn't it magnificent? Look at how big it is. The Empress, completely stunned, looked numbly at what was, in all honesty, a magnificent machine. The humans really could build them.